The night sky above Earth was peaceful, filled with stars. But deep in the control room of Earth Defense Command, red warning lights began to flash. A loud alarm echoed through the metal corridors. Commander Raylan stood still, staring at the large holographic screen in front of him. It showed something terrifying. 10,000 alien warships had entered Earth's space. They were huge, shiny, and shaped like long spears, stretching across the sky like a wall of metal. Their banners showed the symbol of the Galactic Council, a circle of stars with a golden eye in the center. Earth had always known this day might come, but it was still shocking. A young officer, barely 20, turned to Commander Raylan. His voice shook. Sir, it's the entire Galactic Armada. They're heading straight for us. Raylan didn't blink. He sipped his coffee and gave a small smile. So they finally decided to act. 12 years ago, Earth was invited to join the Galactic Council, but only as a lesser species. Humans were treated like weaklings, like animals from a dangerous world. When humans protested, the Council mocked them. Raylan, during a past meeting, had warned the Council, "Do not test Earth's patience. You'll regret it." But the aliens only laughed. Since then, Earth had quietly prepared. No more speeches, no more warnings. Just silence and secret work. Back to present time from orbit, the alien ship sent out a message. This is the Galactic Armada. Earth is ordered to surrender immediately. You have no chance. Submit or face full extermination. There was a pause. The humans did not panic. No one screamed. No one ran. Instead, something strange happened. Earth sent back only one short reply. Acknowledged. The alien commanders were confused. Acknowledged? That's all? Then things started to change. Across the planet, and the Pacific Ocean, deep underwater, massive doors opened on the ocean floor. A giant shape began too. Rise an ancient Terran war machine called Leviathan. It was covered in black armor, taller than mountains, with engines glowing like suns. On the moon's dark side, hidden for years, the Black Fleet awakened. Ships without names. Weapons without limits. No signal came from them, only silence. As they lifted into the stars like shadows. On Mars, humans activated Orbital Defense Grid Zeta, something the aliens believed was a myth. But it was very real, and very deadly. The Council thought Earth had no army. But Earth had been building a ghost force, silent, fast, an invisible dot in Earth Defense Command. Officer Lyra looked at the fleet data again. Commander, they outnumber. US 10-1. Raylan didn't flinch. He walked to the viewing window, looking out into the night. Good, he said. Then we won't have to search for them? She frowned. Sir? Raylan turned, his eyes cold. They brought the war to our sky. Let's welcome them with fire. And with that, the first order was given. Far above Earth, the Galactic Fleet moved into formation. Their ships powered up plasma cannons, gravity missiles, and orbit breakers. They were ready for war, but they didn't know what Earth had become. They thought Earth was still weak. They didn't realize Earth had learned from every war. They didn't know Earth had made weapons even the stars feared. They didn't know Earth had warriors who laughed in the face of death. The humans did not surrender. Instead, Earth's skies began to glow with rising fire. And somewhere, deep in the void of space, someone whispered, "They have no idea what they've started." The Galactic Armada floated above Earth like a wall of darkness, casting long shadows across the atmosphere. On their bridges, alien commanders watched Earth's silence and grew uneasy. Where were the screams? The surrender signals? The panic? But all Earth gave was a laugh. It started with one voice. A private transmission slipped into the alien channel, soft at first, then louder. A human voice, calm and amused, chuckled like someone watching a child try to lift a sword too heavy for their hands. Then came another, and another. The alien fleet's communications were suddenly flooded with human laughter. Thousands of voices. Young, old, male, female. Some laughed quietly. Others laughed like warriors before battle. It echoed across the void. On board the alien flagship Brexon Prime, High Commander Trexel narrowed his 3 yellow eyes. "What is this nonsense?" His officer replied, "Sir, it's them, the humans. They're laughing at us." Trexel hissed, "Patch me through." A screen blinked to life. On it, Commander Raylan stood calm, hands behind his back, stars behind him. His uniform was black. His eyes burned with quiet fire. Raylan spoke clearly. "You brought 10,000 ships to scare us. You thought we'd run. We didn't. And now, we're laughing because we're not surprised. We were waiting for this moment." He leaned forward slightly. "And now, we get to show you why Earth is called a death world." The signal cut. Inside Earth's command bunkers, soldiers stood ready. They weren't afraid. They were focused. They were trained. Earth's technology was not flashy, not shining like the alien ships. But it was fast, efficient, brutal. It was made not to impress, but to survive. All systems were green. The order was ready. But still, the human commanders waited. Ray, Len whispered. "Let them sweat." Meanwhile, in the fleet, across alien ships, confusion turned to fear. Their sensors picked up strange energy surges near Earth. Unknown weapon signatures detected. Gravity distortions in upper orbit. Heat readings from lunar dark side. They were surrounded. But how? Alien scouts were sent, but none returned. Then, a single ship appeared on sensors. Just one. Small. Black. Silent. It drifted out from behind Earth like a ghost. "No weapons detected," said one alien tech. Trexel nodded. "Destroy it." The alien ship fired a pulse cannon. But before the blast could hit, the human ship disappeared. Not cloaked. Not dodged. It vanished like smoke. Then it reappeared inside their fleet. Inside. There. Formation. What happened next? Was chaos. The human ship launched something tiny, a sphere of shifting light. It floated harmlessly through space, slow and beautiful, until it reached one alien cruiser. Then it expanded like a black flower blooming. In a second, the cruiser folded in on itself like crushed paper and vanished from the sky. The aliens had no idea what weapon had been used. Their sensors couldn't explain it. They had never seen a gravity core bloom before. No one had except humans. Back on Earth, Raylan smiled again. "Let them feel the first sting," he said. The human systems came alive. From Earth's orbit, pulse lances fired. From the moon, black laser beams sliced through vacuum. From under oceans, sea-to-space torpedoes rose like meteors. Within seconds, 20 alien ships were gone. The aliens fired back, but Earth's defenses were hidden, shielded, and fast. And still, over the coms, they heard that same human laughter. Calm, unshaken. It broke the alien morale more than any weapon. High Commander Trexel growled. "Why? Aren't they afraid?" One of his captains turned slowly, fear in his voice. "Because maybe they don't need to be." On board Earth's stealth ship Spectre 1, pilot Lena grinned. She had just flown through 4 alien ships without being detected. Her co-pilot whispered, "I think they finally understand." Lena nodded. "They thought they brought fear. But what they really brought was permission." Above Earth, war had begun, but not the kind the Galactic Council expected. Their fleet, the pride of hundreds of alien civilizations, was now broken into confusion. Their perfect formations shattered, their commanders silent. The humans weren't fighting like anyone they had ever faced. They weren't charging. They weren't begging. They were smiling and waking up monsters the galaxy had forgotten. In the deep ice of Antarctica, a door opened. It had not opened for 100 years. Inside slept a machine built by Earth's secret engineers. It was not beautiful. It did not shine. It was black, rough, and shaped like a beast. A forgotten relic of old wars. It was called Ashbringer. Ashbringer rose from the ground, steam hissing from its joints. Its chest burned with slow fire. Its eyes glowed red. Commander Raylan stood in the control tower, watching the data. He nodded once. Wake the Titans. In Earth's orbitalion, Admiral Karthos screamed at his crew. Where is the rest of their fleet? Why aren't we detecting their motherships? The tech crew panicked. Sir, they don't have a central fleet. Every ship is acting alone. They're not following any standard tactics. Karthos growled. That's not war. That's chaos. But one old advisor spoke quietly from the corner of the bridge. No, he said, that's Death World strategy. You never see the teeth, only the bite. From behind the moon, the Black Lance moved forward. It was Earth's oldest ship, older in the Galactic Council's existence. Rebuilt in secret, its armor was uneven. Its engines were silent. But its cannon, just one, was more powerful than 1,000 alien weapons combined. It had never been used. Until now. With one pull of a human trigger, the Black Lance fired. There was no sound in space, but every alien ship felt it. The cannon released a shot made from compressed solar plasma. It moved slower than light, but not by much. It wasn't just heat, it was controlled fury. The plasma tore through 4 enemy ships, melted their hulls, and carved a hole in the sky. The 5th ship tried to run, but space around it collapsed, and it vanished into itself. Down on Earth. The people watched. They weren't afraid. Farmers, children, teachers, and engineers looked up at the sky with quiet pride. They weren't warriors, but they knew. The warriors had woken up. In the shadows of orbit, Earth's Ghost Division deployed. These weren't regular soldiers. These were specialists who trained in zero-gravity combat. Their armor didn't reflect light. Their movements were too fast for most scanners. They flew between enemy ships, planting charges, cutting engines, disabling weapons. One alien ship, the Vexary Hammer, suddenly lost power. Then, piece by piece, its own weapons turned inward and fired itself. The last thing its captain heard was a whisper over his cum. Should have stayed home. Then silence. Inside the Galactic Council's main ship, panic turned to fear. Council members were receiving hundreds of distress signals. They're not human. They're something else. We can't target them. They move like shadows. They're inside our ship, How? The High Council leader, a massive creature with blue crystal skin, trembled for the first time in his life. How can a single planet do this? He asked. An aide whispered. Because we gave them time. And now they've finished building hell. Back on Earth. In the command room, Raylan placed a hand on the table. Status? 79 enemy ships destroyed, sir, said the officer. Losses on our side? 0? Another officer added, Ashbringer has fully awakened, standing by. Raylan looked up at the live battlefield feed. They sent a message by. Bringing their fleet, he said. It's time we send our reply. He pointed to the screen. Unleash Ashbringer. Far below the clouds, the Black Titan launched into the sky with a roar that split mountains. Its engines ignited fire trails across the sky. The aliens had never seen something like this. Some thought it was a myth. Some thought it was a weapon. But it was neither. It was Earth's rage and armor, and it was heading straight for the command ship of the alien fleet. Asterisk. The sky above Earth cracked open as Ashbringer left the atmosphere. No flames, no boosters. Just silence and light, as if a mountain had risen from Earth and was now flying toward the stars. Its body was massive, each limb armored in dark titanium and ancient Terran alloys. Its engine trail burned cold blue, cutting across space like a sword. Alien sensors screamed warnings. Unidentified object inbound. Size impossible. It's alive. Inside the alien flagship, High Commander Trexel stared at the growing dot on the main display. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a missile dot. It was something worse. What is that? He asked. His chief of scans whispered, "Sir, I think it's moving on its own. It's walking in zero gravity." Trexel. Voice cracked. "Send everything. Stop it now." Hundreds of alien warships locked onto Ashbringer. Missiles launched. Plasma bolts lit up the void. Ion beams carved straight lines toward the Titan. But Ashbringer didn't dodge dot. It walked straight through the fire-unbotthered. Flames wrapped around its body. Shrapnel bounced off its chest. Its arm lifted slowly, revealing a singular cannon shaped like a jagged spine, and then it fired. The shot wasn't bright. It wasn't loud. But when it hit the nearest cruiser, the ship vanished. Exploded. Not broken dot, it disappeared into a sphere of nothing, a pocket of crushed time and space, like it never existed. The alien fleet panicked dot inside Earth's command center. Raylan folded his arms. "Now they've seen it," he said softly. His second-in-command, Officer Lyra, asked, "How many rounds does Ashbringer have?" Raylan shrugged. "Just one." She looked shocked. "One?" "But it just—" He cut her off. "That was the warning shot." In the enemy fleet, Rexel screamed, "Fall back! Scatter!" But Ashbringer moved faster dot, using magnetic pulses from Earth's satellites. It leapt between ships like a storm every step, leaving explosions behind. Its arms tore through cruisers like paper. It landed on the hull of a dreadnought, ripped open the armor, and looked inside. The alien crew stared up, frozen. One whispered, "It sees us." Then Ashbringer lit. Fire, white and pure, burst from its core. The ship burned from the inside, its fuel lines turning to rivers of plasma. And still, the human comms echoed with that same voice. Laughter. Aboard the Vrexen Prime, Trexel's main battleship, chaos ruled. Systems failed. AI panicked. Officers cried out. Then the lights went out. Total blackness. A second later, a signal pierced the dark. It was Earth. One single transmission. Raylan's voice, calm and heavy. "You brought your best. We brought our past. Let's finish this." Trexel had heard of Earth's legends, stories of old weapons, of titans, of humans who turned war into art. He never believed them. Now he stood, trembling, as Ashbringer landed on his ship's main deck. The hull groaned under the weight. Metal twisted. Doors bent inward. And then the face appeared cold steel, burning red eyes, and fire in its chest. No sound. No words. Ashbringer raised its arm. Trexel screamed, "WAI2." The world turned white. From Earth, they watched as the Vrexen Prime blinked out of existence, like someone had erased it from the stars. The largest ship in the Galactic Armada. Gone in one blast. Ray, Len looked at the display. One down. He turned to Lyra. "Tell the rest of our forces. Begin Phase 2. Across the system, stealth drones, launched from Jupiter's orbit gravity wells, opened near Neptune deep space. Mines armed in the asteroid belt. And Earth's orbital ring powered up its final cannon. Heaven's Gate, the galaxy had come with fire, but Earth had answered with something older. Something angrier. Something built not just to fight, but to end. In the final image of the day's battle report, One alien ship tried to run Dot as it jumped into hyperspace. Its last recorded footage showed the Earth behind it, glowing with defense shields, ringed by satellites, protected by monsters, and a single line of text from a human broadcast. You shouldn't have come. The alien fleet was no longer an armada. It was broken, fractured, bleeding metal across Earth's sky. Ashbringer had returned to orbit, standing motionless like a dark statue above the clouds. Its fire had cooled, but its presence still made. Alien scanners scream warnings, and now, Phase 2 had begun. In Earth's orbit, hundreds of silent platforms powered on. Their surfaces opened like mechanical flowers, revealing weapons too dangerous to show during peace. These weren't lasers or missiles. These were skyburners, weapons designed not to destroy ships, but to erase entire sectors of space, not each. One had been forbidden by the Council centuries ago, but Earth had never signed those laws. They had built these machines in silence. And now the silence was gone. Commander Raylan stood on the command bridge of Earth's orbital station, looking at the enemy fleet trying to retreat. They wanted war, he said. Now let's show them how humans end one. He gave a single command: burn the sky. The fire begins from the platforms. Invisible beams of charged particles were fired, not in straight lines, but in ripples. They didn't hit ships directly. Instead, they tore open microportals, flooding the area. With radiation, static electricity, and gravitational storms, alien ships began to drift, spin, and implode. Some tried to fire back, but their weapons melted in their own hands. Others fled, but their navigation failed, warping them into dead zones filled with collapsing energy. Within minutes, hundreds of enemy ships disappeared, not because they were hit, but because the sky around them was no longer safe. On board the Council carrier Marza, Admiral Fenari screamed as his ship spun uncontrollably. What is this? What kind of weapons are these? His tech crew replied in panic. They aren't targeting us directly. They're targeting space itself. No civilization should have this power. Fenari shouted. The ship's AI suddenly shut down. A new voice replaced it. A human voice, calm, female, deadly. You should have listened when we warned you. The Black Fleet returns just when the Council fleet thought it couldn't get worse. Earth's Black Fleet returned. These ships didn't glow. They didn't talk. They didn't announce themselves. They appeared like shadows across the stars, each one cloaked, armored, and shaped like blades. No two ships were the same. They had no markings, no flags, just silence. They drifted into position, like vultures circling a dying beast dot, and then they attacked. The alien fleet never saw them coming. Black Fleet ships dove into battle using zero-gravity slingshots, flinging themselves across enemy formations. They sliced ships open from the outside. They dropped gravity bombs into hangars. They used electro-pulse clouds to freeze ships mid-movement, and then shattered them into pieces. Alien. Commanders screamed for help, for mercy, for answers, but Earth sent no reply. Only more ships, more fire, more destruction. On Earth, people watched the sky burn, not in fear but in silence. They weren't proud. They weren't angry. They were tired of being laughed at, mocked, threatened. This wasn't revenge. It was a lesson in one last act of resistance. A group of alien battleships formed a sphere, trying to protect their central carrier. They activated every shield system, poured every last drop of power into their defenses. But something strange happened. The space inside their shield began to bend. Time twisted. Lights blinked slower, faster, then stopped. And from the center of that warped bubble, something rose. It wasn't Ashby Ring. It wasn't a ship. It was a human. floating in a pressurized exosuit. Alone, no weapons. She spoke through open broadcast, her voice calm. This is for the children of Mars, for the colonists you bombed, for the peace you broke. She opened her hand and dropped a single orb of dark energy. It fell slowly, then exploded with light that erased everything inside. A shield. No wreckage, no bodies, no sound. Just empty space. Back at Earth Command, Commander Raylan sat in his chair. His voice was tired. Status? Council fleet down to 12%, sir. All major vessels destroyed? And casualties? None on our side. We haven't lost a single ship. Raylan closed his eyes. They wanted a war of numbers. We gave them a war of nightmares. Asterisk, the battle was over. What had begun as the largest military operation in galactic history was now silent wreckage. Fires drifted across the stars, burned metal, broken fleets, no movement, no escape, only the slow, quiet motion of defeat. 10,000 ships, only a few hundred limped away damaged, weaponless, and running on backup power. Most drifted without direction. Others sent useless distress signals, hoping for rescue that would never come. And hovering above Earth, surrounded by glowing satellite rings, Earth's fleet stood untouched, still, cold, watching. In the Earth Defense Tower, Commander Raylan leaned forward and placed a small black cube on the table. It blinked once, then connected to every remaining enemy ship. Council base and galactic relay station. It was time to speak. Begin transmission, he ordered. A screen lit up galaxies away. Thousands of alien races would now hear Earth's voice. The final message began. A woman's voice spoke first. Soft, calm, clear. This is Earth. No introductions. No apologies. No names. You came to our world with ships of war. You thought we would kneel. You thought our silence meant fear. It didn't. Raylan stepped into view. Behind him, the stars burned. The wreckage floated. We told you once before, leave us in peace. We asked for nothing. We built in silence. You mistook that silence for weakness. He paused. His eyes were tired, but his voice never shook. Now you've seen what Earth really is. Across the galaxy, beings stopped to listen. On trade stations, miners dropped their tools. In royal courts, kings turned toward their screens. On distant planets, children stared at the sky, afraid for the first time. Raylan continued, we are not monsters. We are not saviors. We are survivors. We have lived through ice ages, fires, floods, and wars that broke continents. We do not fear death, because death made us. And when you came to destroy us, we didn't cry. We laughed. His voice grew colder. You lost ships. You lost generals. But worst of all, you lost trust. From this day forward, Earth will not attend your councils. We will not join your treaties. We are not your lesser. We are not your equal. He looked straight into the camera. We are something else. Then the screen showed images short and brutal. Ashbringer stepping through fire. The Black Fleet drifting like phantoms through wreckage. A single human soldier surrounded by 10 alien soldiers and winning. A child in a ruined city, smiling as the sky burned above, safe behind Earth's shields. Raylan's voice returned. If you come again, we will not respond with warnings. We will not speak. We will simply finish what we started. Then the screen blinked to black. One final line of text appeared in every alien language. Earth is no longer watching. We are done warning. Far across the galaxy in the Council's Grand Hall, silence filled the room. For the first time, no one spoke. Not the oldest members, not the war strategists, not the nobles. They had seen enough. One counselor dropped his golden medallion onto the floor. "We made a mistake," he whispered. Another nodded. "We thought they were still climbing the ladder, but they were already at the top." Back on Earth, Officer Lyra stepped next to Raylan. "That was harsh," she said. Raylan didn't answer for a moment. Then finally, "They need to remember it." She looked at him. "Will they come again?" He looked out the window at the stars, at the wreckage. "No," he said, "not soon. Maybe not ever. But if they do—" He glanced at the glowing shape of Ashbringer, resting in orbit like a god, sleeping with one eye open. "Then we won't laugh next time." Across Earth, the people began to move again. Life returned. Cities reopened. Families came out of shelters. Children looked up, pointing at the sky. One boy asked, "Did we win?" His mother smiled gently. "No, sweetheart," she said. "We just reminded them who we are." The war was over. The stars were quiet again. No more alarms. No more explosions. No more warnings. Earth had fallen silent, but it was not the silence of fear. It was the silence of power, of victory, of a planet that no longer needed to speak, because everyone was now listening. Across the galaxy, rumors spread like wildfire. In the markets of trade moons, merchants whispered. They erased a fleet without blinking. On distant colonies, soldiers told stories in hushed tones. Their warships never even spoke, just acted. In royal palaces, rulers reviewed reports that shook empires. They called it Ashbringer, and it walks. And in every place where beings once laughed at Earth, there was now only respect, fear, and silence. On Earth the sky was blue again. Children played in parks. Old people walked without worry. The news stations returned to normal. But deep beneath the surface, in bunkers and black sites, Earth's guardians were not resting. They were watching, preparing, repairing what had been touched. Ashbringer was powered down now. It floated in Earth's upper orbit, unmoving like a monument, a warning carved in steel. Commander Raylan stood on a high platform, staring at it. Beside him, Officer Lyra spoke quietly. "The Council's silence is loud." Raylan nodded. "They finally understand. But will they remember?" she asked. He didn't answer for a while. Then slowly, "They will. Because forgetting would cost them everything." Years later, time passed. Not much, but enough. The Galactic Council never sent another fleet. No threats, no spies, no tricks. They called it the human clause in secret records. Never provoke Earth. Never invade. Never forget. Earth did not seek revenge. It did not invade. It simply continued. The world rebuilt faster than ever before. Cities were stronger, skies clearer, the people calmer. But beneath that peace, something had changed forever. Humanity had stepped out of the shadow of the galaxy. No longer a death world curiosity. No longer the unpredictable new species. Now, a power. A silent power. In a council training room, young alien cadet raised her hand during a history lesson. "Teacher," she asked, "why don't we speak of Earth more often?" The elder instructor, a battle-worn veteran with scars across. His skin turned slowly. He walked to the board and wrote 4 words. "Because they are watching." Then he erased them just as quickly. "That," he whispered, "is enough." In the void beyond Earth, a deep space probe drifted near the Sol system. Unmanned, silent, harmless. It crossed an invisible boundary near Pluto. A soft signal responded. "You are approaching Terran space. Turn back." The probe tried to continue. 1 minute later, it was gone. No blast, no wreckage, no trace. And the next day, the galaxy received a short message on every major channel. Boundary respected. No further action taken. Simple, direct, terrifying. Back on Earth, The people didn't talk much about the war anymore. They didn't need to. They lived, grew, created and in quiet corners of the planet, statues were built. Not of heroes, but of moments. A single soldier standing alone. A war machine staring at the stars. A globe surrounded by fire yet untouched. Beneath one statue, words were carved in every known language. We do not seek war, but we are ready if it finds us. And we remember. One last broadcast years later, an old human voice recorded a message not for enemies, not for all eyes, but for the future. It was uploaded to a beacon in deep space, set to repeat once every century. To whoever finds this, we are Earth. You may not understand what happened here. You may not believe the stories. But know this, when the stars grew dark, we lit our own fires. And when war came knocking, we didn't answer with fear. We answered with fire and laughter. Final scene far away, on a moon in another galaxy, a young alien child finds a book. It has no cover, no title. But inside, it's full of tales about a strange blue world. One page reads, "They were quiet, they were kind, but when tested, Earth became the storm." The child closes the book and looks up at the stars. He doesn't know where Earth is, but he knows one thing. He hopes he never finds it. Asterisk.